Welcome back to Visionary Voices, the place where purpose speaks, stories breathe, and vision becomes more than something we merely talk about. It becomes something we live. I'm your host, Dr. Brewer, and today we have a returning guest whose voice deserves more than one conversation. Melvin Blackmon is back with us on Visionary Voices. In our first conversation, we opened the door to his testimony, his poetry, his books, and the heart behind his service. But today, we're going to go a little bit deeper. Because there's another layer to Melvin's story. There is the writer, yes. There's the poet, yes. There's the author, yes. But there's also the man who keeps showing up when others will get quiet or quit. There is the voice that does not disappear when the room gets uncomfortable. There is the leader who understands that purpose is not always loud, popular, convenient, or easy. So today, we are talking about ministry, poetry, books, courage, consistency, and what it costs to carry a voice that has been assigned to speak. This conversation is for the person who has ever felt called but tired, gifted but overlooked, anointed but tested, creative but misunderstood. It's for the leader who keeps pouring, the artist who keeps creating, the believer who keeps standing, and the visionary who refuses to fizzle out. Melvin Blackmon, welcome back to Visionary Voices.
Thank you for having me again. I'm glad I was worthwhile.
Of course. You know, Chicago Melly the poet, it's always a blessing to have you here. But as we said, this is the second episode, and we're going to go a little bit deeper. Because you already did go a little deep on our first episode. So just to kind of do a little quick review, but don't give them too much, because if you have not watched the episode, I suggest you go back and check it out. But Melvin, I want to know, for people who maybe it was their first time ever seeing you, or even someone who has known of you, but that first time to get to hear you in your own right, you know, without the stage, the mic part was still there, but without the stage, what is something that you wanted them to know more deeply about you from that first episode?
I wanted them to know why I became a poet. I wanted them to get closer to God and how he can use you. I want people to not be afraid of the word minister. You are a walking minister. Ministry is you. Your ministry could be your cooking. Your ministry could be your singing. Your ministry could be your dancing. Don't be afraid to inspire somebody else and let them know God gave me this gift to inspire. Just be humble and, not be afraid to use your God-given talent and use it for God. So,
yes.
Sure.
And that's a great lesson to learn, because I remember years ago, I watched this interview with Kirk Franklin. And you know how like sometimes you'll watch an interview and something just sticks with you? Yeah. Like I'm sure people are going to get plenty of gems from you from the first episode when you were here as well as this one. But he said that sometimes you have to realize that you're the closest thing to someone opening up a Bible that they will ever do.
Yeah.
So when you talk about like your gifts and your witness, like that is real, that we can't be afraid to name a thing. We cannot be afraid of the identity that God has given us and blessed us with, that favored us with, that it's like, yeah, baby, if you can get on that stage and make it do what it do and move a crowd.
Yeah.
Use that for God. Use it for good. You know, if you can cook, baby, we know we love a good food ministry in the church. And one thing, like I love that I show people about the growth in the seeds. Yeah. Like I tell people, like gardening is a ministry, especially when you're going to grow something. And whether you're just going to share it with your church members or you're going to go on to start a food thing, like think about it. That's fresh food straight from the earth. You can't tell me like it don't get no closer than that. God in nature. So look, that's a point right there to remember from Melvin Blackmon right there. Whatever your gift is, God gave it to you for a reason and to use it. Amen. Amen. So let's talk about, how do you know when you are carrying something that's not just a good idea, that it's not just a good idea you had up here, but it's an assignment. It's a God idea.
Yeah. You're carrying it when it gets heavy. And you can't get comfortable until you do what God told you to do. You can go on 1 million trips, and after that trip wears off, give it a year, maybe 2, you don't feel it anymore. Now you want another trip. Now you want to go to another bar. Now you want to go to and get another drink, and you're not fulfilled. So you know that you have an assignment when you can't rest, when you feel anxiety, when you feel tension. Those things of in this world, okay, it's fine. I'm not judging you, but I've traveled everywhere. It's temporary. It's a temporary high. I've been to Australia, Africa, Asia. Oh, it's fun. Been to Bahamas, Jamaica, Europe. Oh, it's a great time.
Yes.
And then it wears off. And then the memories wear off. And President Obama said something that I would never get because it hit me. He said, eventually, you go to so many beaches and the sand starts looking the same. You are not going to be able to rest, and you are not going to be able to be comfortable until you do what God told you to do. And I'm speaking from real life experience. You know, I'm speaking from having some anxiety in the past, you know, and just wondering, you know, what do I do next? Just know that you can always come back around here. You can always come back, you know, to God and give him your time and your talents.
Yeah, look, God is waiting.
And be fulfilled.
Exactly. Look, God is waiting because he's just like, I'm trying to figure something out, my child. If I told you that I am the living water, that you will never thirst no more. But you over there in that corner thirsty. Make it make sense, my child. I love you, but let's get it together. So in thinking about that, because sometimes people tend to think that like they see us in a particular season and they think like, man, he got it all together or she got it all together. So riddle me this. Has there ever been a time that you tried to run from your call? You tried to run from speaking. You tried to run from writing, run from leading. And, and how'd that work out for you?
I mean, do we ever stop running? Does the thought ever leave the back of your mind? You know, but the way I feel is the reason, like, I know I can't run because now I know it's God and I know what God has for me makes me feel better. So, yeah, as a poet, a lot of things come to your mind. And I picked up a guitar because in my mind, I wanted to get away from poetry and get into some music and put the guitar with the poetry.
Your first book was Music Before Crack, so you was trying to tap more. And you started out a rapper, so you know, I can rap over these acoustics.
And the respect that I have now for musicians, I mean, and you can practice day and night. Like my big sister, she can play music by ear. Like when she was a kid playing the piano, I sat at a piano, and that's what made me pick up a guitar. Like I know I'm not gonna.
That's not my ministry, not the piano.
So yeah. You always had an opportunity to neglect your gift and what you're supposed to do. The opportunity is always there. Somebody is always calling you, hey, you know, hey, come over here, come over there. But now, you know, after being in so many different spaces, I can tell our youth, I can tell our young people that these people that you're trying to impress, high school or even college, you might not believe this, but you're not going to remember those people that you sat next to.
Look, tell the truth.
You know, you are not going to remember those people. The only thing that you're going to be remembered for is, you know, what you do for God. The only thing that's going to give your life meaning and purpose and make you feel good and, you know, make you feel whole is your purpose. You're always going to come back around to it.
Yes. So. And that is so true that we have to remember that temptation is always there.
It's always there.
No matter what level you at, it's still that moment where you ain't got to pray today. You ain't got to read that Bible today. You know you sleepy. Go ahead and take that good old nap. And then next thing you know, you're like, oh, it's been 3 days. It's been a week.
Your gift will make a way for you. It will make room for you. I hear so many people say, oh man, I'm almost 40. Like, what have I done with my life? It's not too late.
Right.
Take those experiences and put it in your gift, whatever your
Yes.
gift is. People got so many gifts. You know, people don't understand how big a talent is, like to cook, to sing, to dance, to run, to play sports. You know, whatever you do, take it and give back.
Yes.
Give it back to the youth. The gift that God gave you, show them how to do it. And then you're going to be fulfilled when you see them accomplish things that you may not have been able to accomplish.
Yes.
And you can look at yourself and say, hey, I made it to the pros because I coached this kid. You know?
Yes.
This famous singer, I gave them vocal lessons. You know, this famous poet, you know, that was one of my poets that I mentored. You just never know how you can impact somebody. So if you're feeling like that, if you're feeling discouraged, just know that you could take all of your experiences. I don't care where you were. You could have been in the streets. You could have been at a bar. You could have been doing whatever, you know, something that you wasn't supposed to do. Take those experiences. And that's what I did. I took those experiences that I saw in the streets when I was freestyle battling, you know, that I saw in Chicago, you know, that I saw on my bus stop, you know, Old Block, which is it's famous now. Which is,
Right.
So these stories that you hear, you know, everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
Take all of your experiences and put them into your ministry.
Yes. Realize everything has a purpose. There's nothing that's just, oh, that's coincidence. No,
Give back.
we have a very intentional God. And with that give back, something is a visual that I give my students. And I tell them, I said, what happens when you skip a rock? And I told them, I said, I want you to think about this. That one time that you're nice to that kindergarten or whomever it may be, you have no idea what difference that will make in that child's life. And it's like a ripple in the water that it just goes out and continues to go.
Yeah.
To see my visionaries, I recently, and I think I shared the picture with you, to see one of my babies. I had him since he was like 5 or 6. He a whole grown man now.
Yeah.
Like in his tray, seeing his facial hair, everything. Shout out Amari. Yes, baby, I'm talking about you. But to know that it's like, to talk to his mom, and she's like, even in moments when you weren't physically in front of him, like he still, Pastor Shantae said this.
Exactly.
And Pastor Shantae did this. And I remember when Pastor Shantae took me this place, because you may not think that you have much to give, but think about the 5 minutes, or let's say just the one day that maybe you don't have much. We're here in Chicago. They have free days at the museum. Take some kids that you usually see around the block not doing nothing.
Exactly.
Hey, bro, come to the Museum of Science and Industry with me. Oh, man, I think that's lame. You never know. You might have fun. And as long as enthusiasm is contagious. Yeah. So you show up enthusiastic. Oh, that kid is going to be like, first they going to laugh, Uncle Mel being Uncle Mel. Man, you being such an unk, right? Next thing you know, oh, man, when next time we going to go? Yeah. Oh, that was a good time, and it becomes a vital memory for them. So I am here for that. So for all our leaders out there, remember that temptation is always there, but you have to make the choice to say, Lord, I ain't going to run no more, because what's the point? Yeah. Like, what is the point? So, speaking of temptation, let's get into this topic of obedience. Because, we love to say obedience is better than sacrifice. And we love to talk about, well, I may not have been obedient when I first heard the word, but I was obedient later. But delay is still disobedience until you are obedient. Amen. So I want to know, what does obedience look like for you when you don't feel seen? Because it's easy to be obedient when everyone is cheering for you. It's easy to be obedient when the phone is ringing and saying, oh, man, you did such a great job. Oh, the Lord is really using you. But what does obedience look like when you feel unseen, unsupported, and misunderstood?
Yeah, that typically happens when you do something positive. Mm-hmm. And that non-support, unfortunately, comes from people that you know. And that's what discourages people. A person might have a gift and put it on social media and get 1 like. Mm-hmm. And then they give up. That's the perception that they have. So when I first started doing poetry, social media wasn't that popular. So this is what happened. I had sold like thousands of copies of my first book. Never posted it on social media. I had spoke at prisons, juvenile detention centers, colleges, and I was young. I'm like early 20s. Mm-hmm. And I said, man, my poetry company, my publishing company, they wanted to put my book, online. And I said, you know what? I'm going to post my book on Facebook. I had never posted my book on Facebook in years. I posted my book on Facebook. I got 1 like back then.
1 like after thousands of copies sold.
1 like.
And this is back when Facebook was legitimately people you actually knew.
I got 1 like. I got 1 like. So, obedience for me became easy at that point because God had already showed me if you be obedient, like I will bless you. I will bless you abundantly. Friendship, love, so that's one thing I want to encourage people to do, man. Like, meet new people, get out here and do your gift. If you're afraid to do your gift, take your gift to a different room. It don't have to be in the same room as the people that you know or grew up around. Take your gift to a different room. Like, it's interesting. Like, I performed at a maximum security prison, got a standing ovation. And then the energy and the love, I'm so grateful that I didn't start out with just posting my poetry, my talent. I'm happy that I started out the way I started out because who knows if I ever would have wrote another poem or ever would have even, put the poetry out that I had already written. Like, for me, it was all spontaneous. So obedience for me became easy because I was like, oh, okay, y'all don't like me, cool.
Right. And look, I feel like I need to be like Willie Moore Jr. with you, have a little bell when you say a little zinger, because baby, this room not supporting you, or you scared in this room, go somewhere.
Go to another room.
Sometimes I think we are so, dare I say, closed-minded.
Yeah.
When it comes to our big God and all that is orchestrated by him. Because think about it, how many people are on the face of this earth? And you worried about 10, 15 people.
Yeah, exactly.
You worry, and sometimes it is true that they say you have to leave your hometown. Yeah. Like, so you got some people that they just got that magneticism about them. That, like people that they've grown up with and they've had in their lives, they're going to automatically support. They're going to automatically share, oh, that's your book. Hey, Smooth, give me 5 copies. I'm going to pass it out, Christmas gifts, etc. But then you have some people that, unfortunately, because they have a sense of familiarity with you, that kind of puts a veil or scales, I'm going to say, on their eyes that they can't see. Oh, that's not same little Melvin that used to just pop me upside the head for no reason. Like, Melvin actually grew up. Like, they don't want to see, oh, I remember Shantae from being in a children's choir and doing it. Shantae grew up. Now, I'm never going to say for my parents who will watch this episode, I'm never going to say I am grown. Hear me when I say that. But she did grow up.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And it's like that familiarity. They begin, it's just that. So we cannot allow those people that are close to us to discourage us by their nonchalance. Yeah. Because that's really like, they just, oh, well, Melvin always doing something. Or it's just assumed, just like what they talk about with the strong friend. Yeah. And I can tell, Melly is a strong friend. Yeah. Because they like, he done performed at prisons and stuff. Yeah. He's fearless. But who gonna check on the strong friend?
And perception is deception. The Bible said.
That's my fake bell, y'all.
Because we get a perception of how we're supposed to act from media. Like the Bible says, the lamp of the body is the eye. If your eye is good, your whole body will be bright. But if your eye is wicked, your whole body will be dark. So a lot of our personality and things that shape us nowadays is the music and the media, and we see it so much that it becomes normal to the point that when somebody do something abnormal, it's kind of like in the Bible, the last days, God said wrong will seem right and right will seem wrong.
That's the word.
So, and I know that from being a writer. I come from a rap background. I used to freestyle battle, in the street. So I know that, we can use our gift to manipulate a person's mind in any type of way. So, yeah, man, the Bible, man, says the lamp of the body is the eye. So perception is deception.
Yes, and we also got to keep in mind of something else, too. When you talked about, like, when we see somebody doing something that it's technically right, it's God's way, but we'll say it's abnormal because it's not the world's way. Yeah. We were never called to fit in.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know that's the part that it hurts.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you want to feel like, oh, I have a family. No, baby, we were called to be a peculiar nation. So I remember when I first learned that scripture, and it's so weird. I remember it was in the 5th grade when I was in Bible study. And my pastor, he was real good with go get the dictionary. Like, so no wonder I became an English teacher and cared so much about language and linguistics and whatnot. But when I had to look up what peculiar meant, what holy meant, maybe set apart, different, we are abnormal. Dare I say, we're supernatural.
Everybody is.
Exactly. And it's like, so the reason why you would put your God-given identity, who God created you to be, in his image, his likeness, fearfully and wonderfully made, all the things, you gonna put that down because you want to be like somebody on TV that's playing a whole role.
Yeah.
That when the cameras off, lights go there, when they at the creek, they not actually like that.
Yeah.
But that's what you want to be. You want to lay down all these good things and the path that God has for you to imitate somebody else.
And when I first started rhyming, doing poetry, I've been rhyming my whole life. So, when I first started rhyming, I thought I was teaching people stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, nah, they're cheering because they agree with what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I performed at Tucker Max prison, the prison inmates, after I performed, they went under their beds and grabbed notepads and started spitting stuff back at me, poetry. And I had more intelligent conversations with inmates than I had with college students. So what I'm doing, and what God allows us to do as vessels is give people courage and inspiration.
Yes.
The conquering lion, you've conquered your fears.
Mm-hmm.
So people feel the same way I feel. They're just afraid to say it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I learned about poetry. 90% of the time, people know what I know. I kick this Black history, they know it. We all can teach each other. They could teach me something, I could teach them something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really having the courage to be yourself. Having the courage to be something different than what you see in the media. You got to understand the people who control the media, they going the easy route. They want to make a quick million. They want to make a quick billion. So they're going to put something cheesy out there real quick that you don't need talented actors.
Right.
You don't need to spend no money. You can just take somebody, y'all go act a fool, y'all make a song, y'all make a what do you call it, reality TV show. And you got to understand, those people are providing for their kids.
Because on the back end, everything that you acting crazy with, I'm going to make sure I got stock options in it, etc. I'm going to make money off of you coming and going. So I might even own a funeral home, too.
Yeah, so in the real world, you imitate that and it ain't working out. But in the real world, when you do what God tells you to do and you use your gift and your time, doors swing open. Doors swing open.
Your gift makes room for you. We keep saying that. So I want to know, and we're speaking about all of these different influences of the world. So how do you protect the purity of your voice and your gift in a world that they really revere and reward performance over purpose?
God constantly speaks to us. So the way I overcome that is just to do what he tells me to do. For example, when you look at this book and you look at the poems in any one of my books, people ask me, man, how long did it take you to write that? I wait for God to tell me to write. These poems in this book, the spoken word poems that's longer, I'm talking about 3, 4, 5 minutes. It just, it just comes out. And really, when you use your gift for God, it's more rewarding. In the real world, we're not talking about the fake world. We're not talking about, the world
stunting for the gram.
Trying to go get a check. I'm talking about in the real world. What if I was still out there trying to rap or, freestyle battle or, just talk about stuff that I saw in the streets? What if that young lady, what if Anita never came up to me and said, hey, Melvin, do something powerful with your gift. Like, you got a gift. For somebody to even tell you that you got a gift. And do something powerful with it. And
that's how God uses us. Yeah. Well, we commonly say the angels on earth, but God put something in us and hey, go talk to him.
Yeah, it's in you.
You don't know nothing about this man. You don't know what he on, anything.
Yeah.
But I feel that nudge, and I'm gonna be obedient to that.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, tell me, from your accomplished writer position, what is the difference between writing to impress people and writing to free people? Because you write the truth. Because if you're putting Black history and the Bible together and you're being divinely inspired and God is downloaded, God is truth. We always talk about God is love, but He also is the way, the truth, and the light. So, and knowing that and we also know that the truth shall set us free.
Yeah.
So talk about that difference.
I used to write to impress people.
Really?
That's how I started out. I had a notepad full of raps trying to impress people and talked about things that I didn't do. So,
Heavy on the he didn't do. So don't be trying to bring no old stuff up and no cases.
Yeah, it's a sport, So I come from that, the rap background, and then transforming over, to the poetry. And, God took me to a higher level, that I never thought that I would be on, as far as, the blessings and, just the rewards that you get and just being successful. Had I not been discovered by a young lady, who was just walking past and invited me, I would still be in that world. So I would never be able to, have what I have and achieve the things that I've achieved today.
And when you just mentioned that, it made me yet think of the angel when it would come trouble the water.
Yeah.
That sometimes we think that our missteps, that God didn't already foresee, that God didn't already calculate for. It's somebody that said we forget that God factors in our stupidity.
Yeah.
And everybody, look, like the old school song says, everybody plays the fool sometimes.
Yeah.
And we know babies and fools, God watch after, they look after. But I just think that even in what you speak of about Miss Anita, that's important for people to know, that while you are yet getting it together, God will still send that ram in the bush.
Yeah.
God will still send somebody, because in that moment, Miss Anita was your angel that was troubling the water. She was stirring up the gift in you, and you needed to be at that place at that particular time.
Exactly.
So even though we want to, and let's talk about it, us church folks, sometimes we get it bad for, we want a Bible thump, but you never know God's intent with someone's journey. And dare I say, we got to remember, Jesus wasn't kicking it with all the people up in the church. He was out there in them streets, okay? Jesus was outside, all right?
Exactly.
And think about it, how like all the women that he hung, they like, why are you hanging out with her? If Jesus didn't see a problem with it, why do we?
Yeah, like, good example. My uncle, back in the day, out in Roseland, my uncle was gang banging, he was rhyming, and, me and him used to just sit around and freestyle battle all day, my Uncle Rooster. But he told me, you my protege. Everybody is a walking ministry. Everything that he did, he would say, nephew, don't do that. And I would watch him do it. He might roll up a joint. Hey, nephew, don't let nobody convince you to smoke. He'll pour a drink. Hey, nephew, don't let nobody convince you to drink. Like, showing me how to, be my own man. So a lot of times we have to realize that life is not just about us and our accomplishments.
Yes.
And what we can achieve. We might feel like we're getting older and we didn't achieve what we want to achieve. You got to put that seed, in your family. You got to put that seed in a stranger. You got to put that seed in your community so everybody can be used.
Man, that literally goes directly into my next line of questioning. Like, dare I say, like, the Lord be working through you, son, all right? How do your books document your becoming? Because I'm sitting here and I see a very different, back then he was Melvin the poet. We've even had some rebranding that happened. But you went from Melvin Blackmon, the lyricist. Melvin Blackmon, the fresh poet that's like, oh, I guess I got a gift for this. I guess I'm going to
Yeah.
do this. To Melvin the poet.
Yeah.
To I'm going to take a break from all of this. to I'm going to leave Chicago, even though Chicago one of the greatest cities on the face of this earth, just saying. I'm going to come back, rebrand. I'm Chicago Melly the poet. Now, rebrand. I'm the conquering lion. I'm the conquering poet. How do your books just draw that out for us of the man that you are becoming?
It's just putting all of your experiences together and knowing who you are in God and knowing what you're supposed to do. Once you see it, it's always going to be in the back of your mind. You know, even if you stray away, you're always going to come back to it. I performed at a school and the principal came up to me and she said, I can't believe it. Like, she said, do you know how many people I've had talking to this young man for 3 years? Just people in and out, you know, mentors. She said, I can't believe you changed him in 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
And I can still remember the kid's face. I can still remember, you know, his spirit. You know, the principal told me, you know, that this kid overnight changed, you know, wanted to write, you know, wanted to be a poet, you know, saw something different, you know, saw a different direction. So, you know, that's the conquering lion. The conquering lion is taking all of your experiences and knowing your purpose, you know, and knowing who you are.
And to that, we know heavy is the head that wears the crown. So we know that there's some responsibility that comes along with that. So I want to know, how do you deal with the responsibility that you feel, not just as a child of God that is trying to reach the masses, but as a black man that got a heart for the children, a black male poet, a minister? How do you deal with all that responsibility?
You know, honestly, God deals with it.
Cast all your cares
God
upon
deals
him.
with it. Like, you give it to God, you know, like God doesn't open a door for a reason. You know, things come to you without you even trying. God didn't open the door to that juvenile detention center for no reason. He didn't open the door to that school for no reason. He didn't open the door to this podcast for no reason. So my strength comes from like knowing God is leading me, you know, being spirit-led, being faithful, walking by faith and not by sight. And just knowing that he's going to take you to the right place. And, you know, go where you're wanted. Somebody wants you to come speak. They want you there. You don't have to go around banging on every door. Oh, look at me, get my book. I don't do that. People would tell you, you can search my Facebook like maybe 1 or 2 or 3 poetry videos in how many years, because that's not, you know, what I'm seeking. So, you know, I give it to God and just let him lead me, and it's easy. Yeah, you just put it in his hands.
So if your books could sit in the hands of a young man who's trying to find his voice, what would you want them to say to him?
I would want my words to say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Because a lot of people think that they can't be a leader because they might not have the same voice as a certain person. You listen to Maya Angelou, when she recites her poetry, she's, you know, very mellow. World's greatest. She found her voice. You listen to great poets in Chicago, K-Love, Red Storm, they might come a little bit louder, you know, from the pit of their stomach. Same response. Greatness, you know, making changes. So,
And I'm going to need you to add another Chicago poet in there.
Ooh.
I'm looking at
Chicago
him.
Melly?
Yeah, Chicago Melly.
I'm humble.
Yeah.
I'm humble. You know, and another great poet in Chicago, Black Ice. You know, so I encourage the kids to find their own voice. I would say a poem. I would give them an example, and I would say, what if I said it like this? Whatever happened to black music throughout? That's not my voice. My voice is whatever happened to. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So me being me catches your attention. So I encourage the kids by showing them your voice is different, but it's unique. Your story is unique. You are you for a reason. Look at Michael Jackson. Why is he Michael Jackson? Michael Jackson is a person that's not afraid to be himself.
Mm-hmm.
You see, President Obama, he's a person that's not afraid to be himself.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're different, you're going to stand out. You're going to be remembered.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people just go along with what's going on TV or what they see on social media, or they go to this party. That's fine, because I hit up some parties, you know, sometimes. But that can't be all of you. It's more to you. So that's why I want to encourage the kids to find you, who you are, find your voice, because your voice is special. Look how different Al Green's voice sounded, Sam Cooke. If everybody sounded like Sam Cooke, wouldn't we get tired? Don't you get tired of following your friends? It's human nature. Mm-hmm. Don't you get tired of doing what everybody else is doing? You know, Michael Jordan said nobody wants to go to the grave forgotten. Michael Jordan wanted to be different. So he focused on the basketball every day. They say he was the first and the last person at practice. Mm-hmm. So he focused on who he was. Everybody has something inside them that they love. Focus on it. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to focus forever. If you take a year out to yourself, just 1 year.
And lock in.
For 1 year, take time to yourself, build your brand, build who you are, block out your friends, even if you have to delete your social media. Accept your identity. You don't have to find your identity. You have to accept it.
Yes.
Because you have a talent that's different, and you have a desire that's different from me. It's things that people do I don't desire to do. I don't desire to play a saxophone. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And if you desire to do that, that means that that's you. That's who you are. That's special. Mm-hmm. So that's what I encourage the kids to do, to find your voice, find that inner lion and conquer it.
Yes. And you know, one of the reasons why I wanted to have you back is because there is something special about you and how you show up. You know, and now that I hear it, I think I have a little understanding as to why you show up the way that you do, because we see one thing about Melvin: he is going to show up. He is a fighter. He is going to be consistent.
Come on.
Yes. So I want to know, in those moments, because we know all of us have those low moments. We have those moments where maybe our emotions are starting to get the best of us. Maybe just the constant opposition or the weight of it all gets the best of us. But yet, when others tend to fizzle out, when others tend to break down, I'm done, never to return to the stage again, never to return to a church again, etc. They hide, they get quiet, but not Melvin.
Yeah.
Speak to that.
I learned how bad it is on the other side. I learned how boring it is on the other side, because I always think positive and I always talk positive. If I see something on TV, a cop killing or something like that, I will be talking and I will be passionate about it. And you look around and other people are not passionate about it.
They're desensitized.
Other people are not talking about it. And because I was so passionate about it, I began to let it out through my poetry, not caring what people think. And not caring what people think, long hair don't care. And not caring what people think, you know, propelled me to a very high level. And when I tried to go to that other side, when I told you that I tried to post my stuff for, you know, people that I grew up around, and it was so dry. So I've seen the other side.
Valley of the dry bones.
Yeah, maybe I was backwards. You know, maybe because I, you know, unexpectedly, you know, got this love and acceptance from the outside world. When I tried to come back, the reason I don't stray too far is because I know, you know, and I know what that is, you know, it's nothing going on over there. You know?
It's not popping.
And then when you support others and it's time for them to support you, that's the biggest thing that, you know, made me stay on this side or always come back to this side, because of the love and support. You know, that comes from God and that comes from the people of God. It's always going to be greater than the other side.
And
always.
You know, to that point, I remember I was having a conversation with one of my pastor friends, and he began to explain sometimes people don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, we understand that a repost, a share, what have you, it costs nothing, but we know how it impacts the algorithm. And that is a way of showing support. So even if you're like, oh man, Melvin, I want to support you, but I don't have the $20 for the book, there's other things that you can do. But for some people, they literally, if they're not in the content creating world, they don't understand how certain things go. So just so people will have a clear-cut idea of what is your best way that you can support the leaders that are around you, even those that you have familiarity with, what advice, like what steps would you tell them that, hey, it might seem small, but it's going to mean everything to that person. You don't know if that's going to be the very thing that keeps them going. What are some ideas that you can give them to do that support that, like I said, might not even cost them nothing? Because obviously the first thing is buy a book. Like if they got a Jesus T-shirt out, buy the Jesus T-shirt. Take a picture in it, tag them, whatever. But what are some things that they could do to show that support and because all of us, we need one another. Yeah. All of us, we need that positive word, that word of affirmation. We need that love. So for those who are struggling to understand what that means, what that looks like, go ahead and tell them what could support look like. Give an example for somebody like you.
They struggle to understand because they're trying to do it on their own. You can't do it on your own.
My imaginary bell.
So you got to go to God. It's that simple. And, I went to God recently because, God told me it was time. And when he tell you it was time, he gives me things, that I don't ask for. He gave me these lyrics and I wrote them down. And I knew, in order to get this message out, and I knew, in order to fulfill my purpose, you got to go back to God. So God told me, you need to get back in church. And as soon as I got back in church, I'm not knowing what's going to happen.
Right.
And here comes just walls being knocked down, doors opening up without me even asking. People just, who are you? What do you do? What's your name? And then they're so happy for you to join in. Join. You want to do prison. You want to do juvenile detention center. You pick. Right. It was just an abundance of fruit. So you got to come back to God. It's just an abundance of fruit. It's a garden.
Right.
And it was just there for me. Everything that I wanted, comes from, the people of God, and, the people who are spirit led. So when I decided to, get back on the path that I need to get on, things happen fast. You got to be prepared. So God will prepare you first. So enjoy your downtime.
Right.
Because God will prepare you, because when you decide to, go in that door, it's going to be very quick. So, that's all it is. You just make the decision.
Yes.
That's all it is.
And speaking of it, it's a garden.
Yeah.
The seed, the miracle of a seed, it's a small little thing that once you cultivate its environment, so you pay attention to what's around it, you sow that seed, you nurture it, and God gives the increase to it. So Chicago Melly the poet, a.k.a. Melvin Blackmon, I think it's about time that we go ahead and we sow some seeds.
Yeah.
Because God gave, this a whole package of seeds right here. So we have talked. You guys have heard the man behind the words on the page. But now it's time to have a debut. Because, yes, this is an exclusive. So Visionary Voices audience, I want you to understand. This is an exclusive. Nobody else has this. We are the first. So where Soulja Boy at? So I say, we the first to ever do it. But, yes, we are going to have Melly debut some special pieces from his Conquering Lion. So those seeds can be planted And, the seeds are what you're going to hear. The seeds are in his delivery. It's up to you to water those seeds and believe that God is going to give that increase.
Yeah. So I've really been inspired lately by American citizens like dying at the hands of our own government. It's hard enough that the cost of living is going up.
Yes.
It's hard enough. You got, robots taking our jobs. We don't need anything extra. So God placed it on my heart, to inspire the youth in our inner cities with this piece that I wrote called Endangered Species. And it speaks to what's going on today in our society. This is Glasses Melly.
So you know what? Do I need to give an introduction
Glasses
for Professor Melly?
2.5 billion black people on Earth. 4.5 billion Asians. Only 800 million Caucasians. See, a wise man once said that life comes in stages. So what's the real reason we've gone back to the ice ages? Everywhere I look, I see ice agents. They say our globe is warming, but it looks so cold. They say it's too many brown people, so they've got to take control. See, the real reason for ice is population control. See, the white population in America went from 230 million and dropped down to 214 million. The black population went from 14 million up to 44 million. The Latin population went from 10 million up to 70 million. See, when the brown population started overly growing, all of a sudden it started overly snowing. It's cold outside, so grab a jacket and get ready. So rest in peace to everybody killed by ice, from Keith Porter to Alex Preddy, Linda Davis, God rest her soul. And let's not forget about Renee Nicole. And nobody knows which American is next. See, when you're a white person who likes brown people, they say you far left. But when you only like white people, they say you on the right. See, if they don't care about the teens on Epstein's, then you know they don't care about a citizen's life. So I sit and just write, who's left and who's really the right. It's chilly tonight. I'm wondering if I should get in this fight. I got a question, so let me get on this mic. How can you be the president if you on a Gilligan's flight? America loves racism, but I didn't know they like the pedophilia type. In 400 years, this gotta be the silliest sight. In the 1930s, American soldiers began to sterilize the women in Puerto Rico. President Roosevelt said that these ladies were having too many babies, so he gave them a shot so they couldn't have children. His reason wasn't violence. He simply said that they're using all of the resources on the island. Same thing is happening today. Now they sterilize you in a different way. Same game, different play. I don't want to make it personal because it's not about black. See, they don't like Iran and they don't like Iraq. They don't like good bunnies and they don't like bad bunnies. They don't like it when your skin is tannish. They just want brown people to vanish. They don't like it when you nice. They don't like it when you cuss. I don't want to say too much. Just all I want to say is that they don't really care about us. 2.5 billion black people on Earth. 4.5 billion Asians for what it's worth. 800 million Caucasians for what it's worth. For once in this world will it be peace on Earth. But every time America gets low on oil, they start some more turmoil, so it's really no hope. They keep the number of brown people down so they can control the vote. They love you until your population starts to grow, but when it's more of you than them, that's when they start to trim. Suddenly they calling you a thug. Suddenly they claim the fishing boats in Venezuela has drugs. Suddenly they don't play your music at the club. Baby, the ice ages are super cold. Suddenly they don't want you to sing at the Super Bowl. Baby, these ice agents are Super Bowl. 2,000 years of hate. At this point, it's a disgrace. Every race since the planet was apes. Now we're in another ice age. In the last ice age, the world came to an end. Now they throwing bombs at people because of the color of their skin or because they don't like your religion. Every generation it happens all over again, but this generation will win. Now I might come up missing after this poem's a boss, but it's too late. I already got my point across. Man, we gotta stop the hate.
My God.
It's 2026.
Yeah.
It's 2026. Like, we should be all together partying and having a good time and laughing and singing. It's 2026. There's no way we can still be talking about the same things as our grandparents and our ancestors. Come on, we got nice
Where
clothes
is
and
the
shoes,
evolution?
technology. We are supposed to be having a great time.
Yes.
And we do have great times.
Yeah, because one thing about us, no matter what's going on, we gonna find a way. It's like, it's literally, we have an internal light within us that is like, we will turn some of the darkest times
Yeah.
into at least a moment where it's like, we gonna celebrate, we gonna have a good time.
We got people fighting with us too. Like, Alex Preddy, that hurt my soul.
Yes.
Like, I need a Alex Preddy poster.
Mm-hmm.
The way how he was so passionate, and loving and helping others. Like, man, it's this good, versus evil, man. It's like, dude, these people who want evil, they wake up every day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Bob Marley, he said the people who want to do evil, they never sleep. So he said, the people who do good, I'm not going to sleep either. So the people who want to do evil in this world, they stay up around the clock. So we got to be the same way. So just the passion that I saw with Alex Preddy, and he was a nurse,
Mm-hmm.
he was a helper, he was a healer. And that just, man, it's good. It's good people. It's good people in this world, man. It's really, really time to get together. And speaking of getting together,
You about to get us together.
This woman right here, this woman is the most important Black woman in history. Just the most important woman, period. And she's hardly ever talked about. She was on BBC World News, like she's talked about, but not enough in these spaces.
She's not given the due respect.
Talk about healing the world and giving to the world. I want you all to really listen to this piece right here. I'm going to take my time on this one. Henrietta Lacks. Henrietta Lacks was her name. Just a normal Black woman, but everything changed. She was diagnosed with cancer in 1951, and because she was Black, no hospitals wanted to help her, not one. Without telling her, the doctors cut a little piece of her tumor and put it in a dish. This is the story of Henrietta Lacks. Pay attention to this. The doctors had been trying to grow human cells, but it never worked when they tried. But for some reason, Henrietta Lacks, her cells never died. Doctors began to realize that the Black woman's blood has something special inside. The doctor's name was George Guy. The doctor said that Black women have immortal cells that can cure all diseases and make you well. They started using her cells all over the world to heal different races of little boys and girls. Only a Black woman has special powers in her DNA, a natural-born nurse giving birth to a CNA. Doctors use her cells to stop a disease called polio. They created a vaccine. See, they use our women, but they hate the Black queens. See, it's a little something called melanin. Some people pronounce it melanin, but no matter how you pronounce it, it's something different about your skin. See, they went up on space missions to see what would happen to cells at zero gravity. They used her cells for cancer treatment and allergies. Black women are from another galaxy. Doctors use her cells to create important medication from leukemia to Parkinson's. It's a lot of them. With all these special gifts that God gave us Black people, we gotta win. Because we the one who got the skin all around the globe. Her cells were used for in vitro and fertilization, which means that Black women literally give birth to nations all around the globe. Maybe that's why they say we got soul. When it comes to God, we got chose. The doctor said that every vaccine can be traced back to a Black woman's cells. It ain't hard to tell. They say it's not a person on earth who didn't benefit from this lady, but our Black women are still disrespected daily. These people we call supremacists are still in our dance moves and still in our sales, still in our pyramids in Africa and still in our mail. We don't mind if you borrow it, but please wish us well. But they just sit around all day wishing we fail. Black people, we do so many nice things. Henrietta Lacks, her cells were recently used to stop the spread of COVID-19. Her cells were taken without her knowledge. They say that a Black woman's body is smarter than a college. It can heal you. See, we don't mind helping people. All we ask is that you treat us like equals. But unfortunately, it's the same sequel. Power to the people. Ooh, wee. Let's get it.
And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is Melvin Blackmon, a.k.a. Chicago Melly the Poet, a.k.a.
Conquer with me, baby.
Right, the conquering lion himself, the conquering poet, who is indeed available on Barnes and Noble.
Melvin Blackmon.
Yes, M-O-N at the end. You know, think of the Jamaicans when they say, hey, man.
Share it with a friend. Hopefully you got a twin. All women and all men.
Come on with the lyrics. You know what? Look, let me find out. I should have asked him to do a special rap to be the intro for the podcast. Let me find out.
Jingles, baby.
Right.
Let me know.
Well, it has most certainly been an absolute pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you for kicking it with me, not once, but twice.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, because it is important for me to make sure that great people of God, great leaders like yourself, have a platform to come and talk about some real things. Talk about reality. Talk about how our spiritual journey shows up in the physical. Because sometimes, once again, my church people, I love us, but sometimes we so spiritual, we so holy that we're no earthly good. And then other times, right, and then other times we want to minimize it. So I like to have a platform where we can meet in that middle ground, where we can be encouraging to people, but we can also allow our testimonies to ring out, because there is power in our testimonies. And we have to remember that everything we go through, we grow through by the grace of God. So I just want to thank you again. Once again, The Conquering Lion. All 4 of the books are actually available. Barnes and Noble. And then once again, for those who didn't hear, you know, I'm going to say it louder for the people in the back. For the leaders that you have around you, the people that are doing it up, doing it big, doing it well for the kingdom, for God, make sure that you remember to have a word of encouragement for them, even if it is a simple thank you, even if it is a simple just keep on going, even if it's a simple, hey, yeah, I'm still out here doing this, but don't do what I do. You know, shout out to old Rooster. And you know what? I got to say shout out to my little man's Jesse, because I shouted out Jazz last. I can't leave out Joshy and Jesse. Y'all ain't going to have the kids jumping me.
Niece and nephews.
Right. But point being, I just want all of us to be encouraged as we go on our journeys and know that God is with us and that we do have the power as well to uplift one another. So, comment, share, like, all the things. You know, send it in an email, send it in a text. Remember them old school chain text messages? Like, can we get that energy back that you used to get tired of getting them? But you be like, Dig, before I got tired of it, I felt a little loved. But
we young.
Right. You know what?
To be honest,
to be on this side, because, you know, I have a difference of opinion when it comes to age.
Perfection.
Yes, because, baby, I'm getting better and better every single day. But in addition to that, when you've been laid up in that hospital bed, you like another day's journey. Baby, I'm glad about it. As we embark upon our birthday month and, you know, turning another year, we just want to say thank God and thank all of you as well. So remember, as you continue to go on, remember to keep believing, keep leading, and keep on keeping God first. God bless y'all. This has been Visionary.